and a huge welcome back to our podcast here on LearnEnglishPodcast.com. I'm Wason, and I'll be your friendly English teacher for today. And today's conversation with me is my brilliant co-host, Lydia. How's it going, Lydia?
Hey, Wason, I'm feeling great and thrilled to be here. Hello to all our wonderful listeners from around the globe. Whether you're a newbie or you've been studying English for years, we're happy you're joining us. Get comfortable, and let's begin.
Absolutely. Today, we're exploring a transformative strategy for anyone aiming to sound more fluent and confident in English, namely, thinking in English. We'll discuss its importance, practical ways to build that habit, and share some fun tips you can apply immediately.
Yes, indeed. If you've ever caught yourself translating every phrase from your native language to English before speaking, then this episode is custom-made for you. We'll break it all down, step by step, so you can start making real progress.
Precisely, Lydia. By the way, I've been teaching English for a long time, and one of the top questions students ask me is, how do I think in English? They often want to stop that awkward pause where they scramble to translate words mentally.
Right. And when you eliminate that extra translation step, your speech becomes far smoother. Plus, you'll notice that you feel more confident because you're not constantly second-guessing how to say something. You'll naturally find yourself speaking faster, clearer, and with fewer grammatical hiccups. It's a real game changer.
Speaking of game changers, let's dive right into why thinking in English matters so much. First, it saves time. Rather than switching languages in your head, you're using English as your primary channel of thought. That means your brain processes vocabulary, grammar, and ideas in a more direct way.
Totally agree. It also builds a bridge to better vocabulary and sentence structures. When you force yourself to think in English, you're training your mind to recall words in English right away. It's almost like giving your brain a workout that strengthens linguistic muscles.
Yes. Another huge benefit is boosting confidence. Imagine you're traveling abroad and want to order food. If you're thinking in English, you'll probably sound more natural when talking to the waiter. You won't have those long pauses where you desperately scramble for words.
Precisely. Another plus is that it reduces mental fatigue. Translating everything can be exhausting. Over time, you might feel burnt out from constantly flipping back and forth. But once you get in the flow of thinking directly in English, communication feels more seamless. It's like removing an unnecessary filter, making the process fun instead of draining.
That's so true. And there's another subtle benefit. Your overall comprehension of movies, songs, and conversations improves as well. When your brain is already functioning in English, you'll pick up new words and expressions faster. It's as if you've set your mind's default setting to English, which is super helpful for immersion.
Exactly, Wason. Let's also note that you don't need to reach perfection to get started. Even short sentences or incomplete thoughts in English help push you forward.
Couldn't have said it better? This process might feel awkward initially, but consistent practice pays off. And here's the exciting part. We'll provide practical tips so you can begin right away. Before we jump to those tips, though, let's discuss some common hurdles that learners face when transitioning to thinking in English.
Sure thing. One giant obstacle is habit. We've spent our entire lives thinking in our native language, so shifting that mental script can be like learning to write with our opposite hand. It feels weird, but eventually, it becomes second nature.
Absolutely. Another barrier is vocabulary. If you're missing essential words, you'll quickly hit a wall when trying to form thoughts. It's frustrating to have an idea, but lack the words to express it. That frustration can discourage people from even attempting to think in English. Thankfully, it's something you can improve over time with the right techniques.
Confidence is also a biggie. Some learners worry, what if my mental sentences are all wrong? So they decide it's safer to just think in their native tongue. But nobody is grading the grammar inside your head. It's okay to be imperfect. In fact, making mistakes is a sign that you're truly engaging with a new language, and that's a positive thing.
Yes, fear of mistakes can be paralyzing even in our private thoughts. Another major roadblock is the habit of translation. Many folks have been taught to learn English by translating everything word for word. That method has its place, but it can stifle spontaneous thought if you're always defaulting to your first language before reaching English.
Right. Then there's consistency. People might try thinking in English for a day or two, but when it feels inconvenient or drains their energy, they slip back to old habits. Persistence is key.
And environment, of course. If you're surrounded by people who speak your native language all the time and rarely get exposed to English conversation, it becomes trickier to maintain that English mindset. That's why tools like podcasts, music, and online communities are so valuable. They offer a small corner of English in your daily life.
I can't emphasize that enough. Also, overthinking is a sneaky problem. Some learners demand that their internal thoughts be picture perfect. That can actually slow you down. It's fine to start with straightforward sentences like, I go store, and then refine them as you practice.
Exactly. It's about progress, not perfection. Overcoming these issues takes time, but the rewards are huge. You'll speak faster, more naturally, and feel more confident. And if you need extra encouragement, remember, you're not alone. We're all here to learn together.
So, to recap, the biggest challenges are habit, limited vocabulary, fear of mistakes, reliance on translation, lack of consistency, environment constraints, and overthinking. Don't worry, we've got tips to handle each of these. Let's move on to the practical side.
Yes. We'll share strategies that you can begin using today. There's no need to wait until your English is perfect because, spoiler alert, there's no such thing as perfect. Start small, make it fun, and soon you'll catch yourself naturally thinking in English.
Let's do it. Our first piece of advice is something we call labeling. Essentially, you look around your room or environment and name objects in English. If you see a lamp, in your mind you say, that's a lamp. If there's a notebook, you note, this is a notebook.
That's right. To elevate that exercise, add descriptors. This is a tall vintage lamp, or that is a thick spiral-bound notebook. The more detail, the better. You're teaching your brain to connect English words to the objects around you.
And to go even deeper, you might think about how you use those objects. For instance, I switch on the tall vintage lamp to read, or I open my thick, spiral-bound notebook to jot down ideas. It feels silly at first, but labeling can really expand your practical vocabulary and jumpstart your English thinking habit.
Wonderful tip, Lydia. Let's move on to my personal favorite, self-talk. Essentially, you narrate what you're doing in your head, or aloud if nobody's around. For example, I'm slicing vegetables, or I'm drafting an email. It's a great way to stay in English mode.
Yes, you can do self-talk anywhere, while tidying up, on a walk, or cooking dinner. And if you get stuck, pause to look up the word or phrase. Over time, you'll notice that you naturally remember these expressions because you used them in a real context.
Absolutely. Another fun approach is to narrate your day. As you go from one task to another, silently announce, I'm leaving the house now, I'm waiting for the bus, or I'm arriving at work. This might seem repetitive, but these small daily statements help shift your internal dialogue into English.
That's so true. And here's a great twist. Ask yourself questions and then answer them in English. For instance, "What am I doing this afternoon?" Then reply, "I'm finishing my errands and reading a new book." It becomes like a friendly mini dialogue with yourself.
I love that idea. Also, consider introducing small time-based challenges. For example, tell yourself, between 9 a.m. and 10 a.m., I will only think in English. Yes, you might slip a bit, but it's okay. This micro-challenge approach helps you build up your mental stamina. Before you know it, an hour will become 2 hours.
Definitely. And let's not ignore the power of technology. Make full use of your smartphone or laptop by setting them to English. Use note-taking apps to type your thoughts in English, or experiment with voice-to-text features to see how well your pronunciation translates. It feels pretty cool to watch your phone attempt to interpret your spoken words in real time.
I'm also a fan of something a bit more creative. Aim to dream in English. Now, you can't force your dream content, but right before bed, think about your day in English. Review what you did, plan tomorrow's schedule, or imagine a fun scenario. Over time, you might notice more English creeping into your dreams.
Yes, that's a fascinating phenomenon. And never forget to immerse yourself whenever possible. Listen to English podcasts, watch English shows with subtitles if needed, and read English articles. The more exposure you have, the easier it becomes for your brain to stay in that English thinking mode.
Right on. And if you feel your energy dipping, remember you're watching LearnEnglishPodcast.com, where we're here to help you thrive in your language journey. Don't get discouraged if you slip back to your native language sometimes. The key is to keep going forward, one phrase at a time.
Exactly. The practice itself is more crucial than perfection. Even if you just manage 15 minutes of English thinking per day, it's better than none. Soon, those 15 minutes will become 30, and before long, it'll feel natural.
All right, folks, we've armed you with tips, so let's show you how it looks in a short role play. I'll ask Lydia about her upcoming plans, and she'll answer while thinking out loud in English. Then, we'll switch. Ready, Lydia?
I'm totally ready. This is a quick demonstration of how you can use everyday English to describe your day and activities. Feel free to follow along and adapt it to your own life.
Absolutely. So, Lydia, what's on your schedule for tomorrow? Try to speak as if you're thinking in English right this instant, without translating. Just let the words flow. Let's hear it.
Tomorrow, I'll get up at around 7 a.m. I'll brew some coffee and eat breakfast. Afterward, I'm planning to head to the local gym for a quick workout, maybe about an hour. Later in the afternoon, I'll focus on finishing a work project. By evening, I might watch a comedy movie.
That sounds awesome. What genre of comedy do you usually enjoy? Do you like romantic comedies, slapstick humor, or maybe satirical ones that poke fun at everyday life?
I'm thinking I'll go for a lighthearted rom-com. I've been busy all week, so I'd love something cheerful and not too heavy. Laughing helps me unwind and forget about deadlines.
Great plan. Now let's switch. You ask me about my weekend activities. I'll answer again, as if I'm narrating my thoughts in English. Fire away, Lydia.
Absolutely. So, Wayson, how do you plan to spend this upcoming weekend? Any interesting adventures? Or are you planning to lounge around and read a good book? Maybe you'll try some new recipes? Give us the breakdown in English, just like we practiced.
Let's see. On Saturday, I'll meet up with some friends for an early morning hike at a nearby trail. We'll pack snacks and a thermos of coffee. Afterward, we're probably going to grab lunch at a family-owned cafe we love. Then, I'll head home and relax with a good novel or a soothing documentary.
Hiking and relaxation. A wonderful combination. And it's such a great example of how to think in English about regular life. You're describing plans, using future tense, and painting a picture. Our listeners can practice the same method. Pick a scenario, like the weekend, and talk through it in English, just like you did.
Exactly. Role plays like this are an amazing way to get your brain accustomed to forming thoughts without stopping to translate every word. Now that we've demonstrated, it's your turn, listeners. Give it a shot in your own time.
Yes, definitely. And don't panic if you struggle at first or your sentence structure feels awkward. Consistency is everything. Do it for a few minutes each day, and you'll gradually see huge improvements in both speed and clarity.
That's a wrap on our role play segment. Before we close out, we just want to remind you once more that this is LearnEnglishPodcast.com, the place where learners come to grow their English skills with a friendly, engaging approach.
Precisely, Wason. We're all about building confidence, having fun, and making real progress. Remember, the aim here is not perfect grammar or never making a mistake. Rather, it's about staying motivated, learning from errors, and pushing yourself to think, and eventually speak, like a confident English user.
Thank you all for listening so attentively. Now we'd love to hear from you. Try labeling objects, talking to yourself while cooking, or describing tomorrow's agenda in English. Then, let us know in the comments how it went. We're all ears.
Right. And as we wrap up, don't forget to hit that subscribe button for LearnEnglishPodcast.com so you never miss an episode. Share this channel with your friends who might benefit from these tips. The more, the merrier. Plus, the extra support helps us continue making content that keeps you learning in a relaxed, engaging manner.
Yes, exactly. Your feedback, questions, and success stories inspire us to improve and share even more. We have so many plans for upcoming episodes, everything from idiomatic expressions to advanced grammar hacks. We promise to keep it lighthearted, humorous, and as practical as possible, just the way you like it.
Now, as a quick wrap-up, here are the main takeaways. 1. Thinking in English makes speaking smoother and more confident. 2. Biggest challenges: habit, limited vocabulary, fear of mistakes, translation reliance, consistency, environment, and overthinking. 3. Tips: labeling items, self-talk, narrating daily activities, asking, answering questions, time-based challenges, and technology.
And more takeaways include 4. Immersion through podcasts, music, or changing your device settings to English. 5. Don't aim for perfection. Aim for progress. 6. Role-playing and practicing short dialogues can really help. 7. Stay patient. It's a journey, not a one-day event.
Exactly. That sums up the heart of today's episode. Keep these points in mind as you practice. We'll see you soon for our next podcast episode. Until then, keep practicing, keep dreaming in English, if possible, and keep that sense of humor alive. It makes language learning a blast.
Thanks so much for tuning in. Remember to subscribe to LearnEnglishPodcast.com and stay updated. We truly appreciate you. Now, go out there and get thinking in English. You've got this.